With a high of 63. It'll be clear Tuesday night at a 48. Wednesday looks to be sunny with a high of 63. While the Inland Empire will have a partly sunny afternoon with a high of 71. For Palm Springs, our high 71 with mostly cloudy skies. I'm Rod Tanner for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
Join the conversation, Inner Voice Heartfelt Chat with Dr. Foojan, Monday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific on Smart Talk, KMET 1490 AM, and on the internet stream.
The Inner Voice Show is a dialogue between the host and the listeners about their relationships. This show is not an attempt to assess, diagnose, or treat any mental health or illness condition. Please consult your physician, psychiatrist, or psychotherapist for personal matters.
Inner Voice. A heartfelt chat with Dr. Foojan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Inner Voice Show. I'm Dr. Foojan Zeine and have Sean in studio. Now, this is a show about what matters most in life: our mind, thoughts, feelings, actions, relationships, and our fulfillment in this beautiful journey of life. Now, in this show, I'll bring you the latest research about Americans having less sex these days. Well, guess which one? I'll tell you. Now, after that, I will talk to Dr. Ava Cadell, the author of Neurolovology and founder of the Lovology University. And you're more than welcome to call us. You can talk to me. You can talk to Dr. Cadell. Call us on the studio, 951-922-3532. So it's going to be a sexy show today, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Join the conversation every Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. Pacific for Inner Voice Heartfelt Chat with Dr. Foojan. Dr. Foojan has a direct approach to getting you to free your mind. Inner Voice is a live call-in show where you can chat about your life and all that matters to you in your relationships. Inner Voice Heartfelt Chat with Dr. Foojan, Monday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific on Smart Talk, KMET 1490 AM, and on the internet stream.
Have you ever wished you could just wake up one day, reach across your nightstand, and hit the life reset button? Let's face it, the struggles and frustrations of everyday life leave millions of women and men around the globe yearning for a new way. And the new way is right here in Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want, by Dr. Foojan Zeine. You can get it now at Foojan.com or Amazon.com. Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want. You deserve it.
I'm having too much fun with this song. I don't even want to interrupt it. Okay, we'll talk about sex. Americans are having sex less often. New study shows couples married or living together reported the largest decline in sexual frequency. Now, while the topic of sex is less taboo than it was a generation ago, that doesn't necessarily mean people are having more of it. Now, according to a new study published in the journal Archive of Sexual Behavior Today, Americans who were married or living together had sex 16 fewer times per year in 2010 to 2014. Now, compared to 2000 to 2004. Now, the survey also found that overall Americans had sex about 9 fewer times per year in 2010 to 2014 compared to 1995 and 1999. Now, the study is based on data collected from General Social Survey, a national representative sample of more than 26,000 American adults asked about their sexual behavior since 1989. Dr. Twenge of San Diego State University states, These data show a major reversal from previous decades in terms of marriage and sex. In the 1990s, married people had sex more times per year than never married people, but by the mid-2000s, that reversed, with the never married having more sex. Now, according to Dr. Twenge, author of the book Generation Me, a critical factor appears to be birth cohort. Now, with later born generations having sex less often than those born earlier in the 20th century. Earlier study found that millennials have fewer sexual partners than their Generation X predecessors. Despite their reputation for hooking up, millennials and the generation after them, known as iGen or Generation Z, are actually having sex less often than their parents or grandparents when they were that young. That's partially because fewer iGeners and millennials have steady partners. Now, age also appears to play a significant role. People in their 20s have sex more than 80 times per year, declining to 60 times per year by age 45 and 20 times per year by age 65. Each year after the peak of sexual frequency at 25, sexual frequency declines 3.2%. Older and married people are having sex less often, especially after 2000. In a previous study, they found that the happiness of adults over age 30 declined between 2000 and 2014 with less sex and less happiness. It's no wonder that American adults seem deeply dissatisfied these days. Now, blame might be placed on the busy lives of more working parents, but the research didn't bear that at all. And instead, those who worked more hours actually had sex more often as well. That's interesting. So now you know, Americans are having less sex. We're going to talk to Dr. Ava Cadell. Now, she's obtained her doctorate in human behavior and a doctorate of education in human sexuality. So we're going to ask her how come she thinks that's happening? Because obviously she is working with teachers and with coaches and with Americans, all ages, so we'll have to ask her. Now, Dr. Cadell counsels individuals and couples on personal issues, including infidelity, orgasm barrier performance problems, sexual compulsions, parental concerns, power struggles, anger management, fear of intimacy, lack of communication, and lack of desire. Dr. Cadell has authored 11 books covering various aspects of relationships and sex neurolovology, the power of mindful love and sex, which is using brain science to improve your love life. And her capacity as a sexologist, she has appeared on numerous national television shows: The Doctor, Good Morning America, Extra, Montel William, Geraldo, The X Show, and as well as in documentaries and news reports on major broadcast networks as CNN, MSN, NBC, ABC, Fox, MTV, VH1. I could go on and on and on. And she has featured in a lot of movies in Hollywood. As an extension of her presence in the field of sexual health and well-being, Dr. Cadell has founded Loveology University. It's an online university for love coaching through which she impacts and imparts her knowledge to motivate students who will follow her career path to become loveologists. And we all need it. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Dr. Ava Cadell.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Don't miss out on the free KMET smartphone apps. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Dr. Foojan Zeine is a psychotherapist, a marriage and family therapist, and a life coach with more than 27 years of experience. She is the author of the Awareness Integration Model, which has been researched and published in numerous international journals. Dr. Foojan has offices in Beverly Hills, Irvine, and Woodland Hills, California, and also consults online and by telephone. Make an appointment with her today by calling 818-648-2140 or go online to www.foojan.com. That's www.foojan.com.
Hello, listeners. This is Christopher from The Christopher Show. Hey, if you missed one of our shows here at KMET, don't worry about it. You can go to our webpage, and that's KMET1490am.com. Go to the homepage, click on the SoundCloud tab, and hear any show anytime you want.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Don't miss out on the free KMET smartphone apps. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Okay. Well, welcome back, everyone. I'm Dr. Foojan Zeine, and you are listening to Inner Voice. And I'm excited to have Dr. Ava Cadell with us. And I've already told everyone about you, Dr. Cadell. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is exciting to have you because we're going to talk about sex today.
Good.
I promised everybody this is going to be a sexy show. So let's talk about sex. Now, before we do that, though, can you tell me a little bit about what got you and enticed you to open up the university, the Loveology University?
Well, I really believe that every adult should have access to positive, accurate, explicit information about love and relationships, intimacy, and sex. So that was my catalyst for it. And I just keep on updating it with the latest research that I can find. And it's enormous. There's like 40 courses on everything you can think about, and then programs where you can learn to be a love coach and a sexpert. And I just think to me, the meaning of life is learning how to give and receive love. And that includes sex.
Definitely, yes. Actually, one of the best expressions of love is love making, which it's the sexual energy and the sexual connection together. Now, let me clarify something, because when I was looking at the Love University, I had it as it's only people who want to be professionals, such as counselors or love experts or intimacy experts. But can just anyone go to the university and gain from these courses?
Absolutely. It's for everybody and anybody who wants to learn about any topic. You can take one single course about love or kissing or dating or something much naughtier.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can become a relationship coach or a master sexpert, as I call it, or a love coach. But it's not only for professionals. It's for anybody who wants to learn more about this phenomenal topic that makes the world go round.
It's wonderful, because I think that a lot of people, and obviously, I'm a therapist, so I also work a lot with couples and their sexuality, but I do know that a lot of people don't really know nor have access to learning the essence of maybe loving or lovemaking or sexuality or other parts of how to get themselves ready even for sexuality, or knowing about their partners, or even being able just to talk about this. Most people just kind of think, I'll see porn and it shows it to me, and I'm kind of afraid to go anywhere else, and I don't even know if there's anything else out there. So please tell us about what you're offering and what can people learn from you.
Well, for example, you're talking about erotica, and you can take a course on how to give an erotic massage. Everybody fantasizes about getting a massage, but how about learning how to give an erotic massage? So I have a course on how to give one to a man, how to give one to a woman. And to me, it's one of the best gifts that you can give somebody, because it doesn't really cost you anything tangible, but it is your creativity and your energy and your lovingness and your sensuality. So that's an example of a course that you can take as a couple or a single person that will help you to grow, sexually. But I have many, many, many other courses, and some of them are taboo, because I think it's very important for us to address those. And one is actually on porn, mentioning porn, how it impacts people. And, you may be surprised to know that I actually believe that porn can be therapeutic for couples. I have seen couples, for many reasons, even when there's an addiction to porn, I will say, okay, now let's negotiate, because one person is obviously watching it too much and the other person isn't watching it at all. And then I tell them there are different kinds of porn. There's female-friendly porn, for example. A lot of people don't know that. And so I try to find the balance in every topic that you bring up that can enrich a relationship. And it's all about communicating your boundaries, your deal breakers too.
Right.
But in one of my books, Neurolovology, which is where I blended neuroscience with the science of love and sex, I talk about how the left brain communicates versus the right brain. And if you're with a partner whose brain hemisphere is more prominent and different than yours, then you're talking two completely different languages. So I do teach people how to communicate their wants, needs, and desires, and even their fears, so that it's understood.
So Ava, what do you tell the partner of the person who is watching porn and consistently watching porn, but they're not necessarily becoming more sexual with their own mate, and that person treats pornography as if it's infidelity, like they feel hurt to buy it. They feel kind of a lot of anguish every time they see their partner, start looking at porn and complete and get orgasm by porn and not coming back to them and give them that type of a love?
Well, if we go back to when they first started watching porn, my question is, did they watch porn before you were married, before you lived together? Usually the answer is yes. It's not something that just happens, but occasionally maybe it's no, maybe they didn't know. And then I find out what the partner dislikes about the porn, whether it's being objectified or the dialogue or, whether it comes from a guilt and a shame that was through repressive, upbringing, whatever it was. It's very important to find out why. So many people don't think about why. Why do I hate this? Why am I inhibited about that? Once you start, revealing the whys, then you can say, okay, so let's negotiate. You don't want to watch hardcore porn, but how about an erotic educational video? I have one called Pleasing a Woman. And it's my favorite one. I think it's somewhere behind me. It's this one, How to Please a Woman, emotionally, physically, sexually. So there's something for everyone. And I try to get my couples to negotiate as opposed to just say no and reject, because that's tough. When you reject someone, especially with judgment or even ridicule, relationship will turn into a contemptuous relationship without the ability to be healed.
Now, if one partner wants to learn more and wants to go to your university or buy some of the videos or books from you or anyone who they enjoy and they think that they can learn from, how do you suggest for them to introduce that to their partner without making their partner feel like you are not that great, so that's why I need to go?
Well, I would say always praise before you criticize.
Okay.
So you are the most amazing kisser I've ever had. But wouldn't it be fantastic if we could just learn a few more positions when we make love? Dr. Ava has this book on the Kama Sutra, or this course on love-making positions. I would love to share that with you to make our relationship even better.
Beautiful. So it's more of, so have it more as playfulness and learning more and wanting to bring some zest and juice into the lovemaking and introduce it from there, not from there's a lack or there's something wrong here and that's why we got to go learn. So that really boosts people to really want to be excited. Now, a lot of people feel embarrassed, and Ava, I obviously work with a lot of multicultural people who sexuality has not been something that has been talked a lot about. I work with Middle Eastern, I work with Eastern population. So there's a lot of, we'll do it because obviously it's part of what we do, but we don't talk about it. So what do you suggest for people who are embarrassed to talk about their body, about telling their partner how to be with their body, or kind of even introduce some of the new parameters of sexuality into their relationship?
Well, I do have a course on erotic talk, which is very helpful. It tells you what men want to hear, what women want to hear, how to share fantasies, all of that. And it is difficult to talk about intimacy because nobody has ever taught us that. So I would say to a client, where do you feel really confident when you are just able to talk about what you want, what you need, what you don't like? And most people feel very confident in a restaurant, for example. Of every culture, when you go to a restaurant, you look at a menu and you know exactly what you want and how you want it. If you want the sauce on the side or if you want the meat medium or rare. Well, a relationship is even more important than a meal. So
yes.
I want to help them to feel at least 10 times bolder in their communication about human sexuality, and to use the dining in a restaurant as an analogy. Give your partner a menu of what you would like. And for example, let's say the man is more talkative than the woman, and she won't tell him what she wants. What I tell the man, it could be the woman too, is give them 3 options. Give them multiple questions, like, would you like to engage in more foreplay? Would you like to make love in a new place? Or would you like to watch a sensual movie to get you turned on? Or would you like to take a bubble bath together? There's 4 options. So that gets the other person talking, because sometimes they don't know what to say. They can think it, but they can't say it because they've never done it, so they don't have the confidence. Mm-hmm. And they're afraid of rejection too, of course.
Right.
They're afraid of rejection. And that's why I think it's very important to state your desires. Don't ask, oh, please make love to me, in the bathtub before we go into the bedroom. Say, it would really turn me on if we took a bath together, washed each other, and started to make love in the nice, warm, bubbly water, and then moved on into the bedroom. So again, we're back to the presentation.
Yes, and I think that sometimes it's easier for people to wait for sexual partner to pursue them, or they have these ways and innuendos of pursuing that they're very much subtle, but they're not necessarily straightforward. And then there can be a lot of miscommunication in the middle, and people, their partners not necessarily catching on to the connection, the connection that they want to create. And I also hear a lot, Ava, of people who say, well, they should just know it, or it doesn't feel good if I say it. And then it just becomes mechanical when I say it, touch me this way and touch me that way. And so I'll just give up. It's almost like I'll just give up. And then they give up for many years and they close themselves down completely in their sexuality. And they close a part of themselves and the zest of their life when they do that. They just shut down.
Yeah, so many people think their partner should be psychic and just know what they want. But there's not that many psychic people. You're right. And people often, I find, punish themselves because they don't feel worthy of having the pleasure they want.
Right.
They'll use that as an excuse. Oh, my partner doesn't know, can't please me. I'm going to give up. And they're giving up because they have low self-esteem. They don't love themselves. I'm sure you know that in your private practice too.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was raised in Europe in a strict orphanage run by nuns. So I had plenty of negative programming. And I know that there's a lot in the cultural and religious influences around the world. So it's really important for us to understand that. And you do a wonderful job with your cross-cultural therapy. It's so important, and people don't realize how that impacts not only individuals but even relationships.
Yes. Now, have you noticed, Ava? And I don't know. I'm asking, so I'm not saying it's one, or the other. Have you noticed whether having such an access to pornography on everybody's telephone immediately at any time, anywhere, change the essence of sexuality between partners?
I mean, I can't say that I've noticed that impact personally. We all want immediate gratification of everything that's accessible on our phones now, whether it's shopping, a lesson on anything, a dance lesson, anything, or sexual gratification. It's there. It's there for the taking. I think that it's individuals who use it more than couples. It's a lot of men who are not able to find a partner. Some of them are disabled. Some of them are widowed. Some of them are just antisocial. There are reasons why the porn business is a billion-dollar business. I mean, even the hotels sell more porn than sports channels when people go. So obviously, human beings are visual and they want to see erotica. It stimulates the mind. Not for everybody, but certainly a great number of people.
But there's also every couple that yearns to be close, and every couple yearns to make love with the one they love. And so that somehow bypasses the yearn for erotica, or at least it's side by side and it has a completely a different feel. Where if people are not necessarily learning or getting what they want in their relationship, that the beauty is there are places such as the Love University, Loveology University, for them to be able to gain that type of an information without necessarily feeling like they're doing something wrong or bad, but looking at it as really it's a university that they're learning. These are courses that they're learning, each and every one, and they can join together, or they can learn, one person learn and then, kind of like share it with the other person. Now, I also, we're in an era that sexuality is out there in conversation a lot, especially abuse, especially misrepresentation of sexuality, especially in a way where inappropriate actions where people have been hurt by them. That therefore Me Too movement and a lot of other movements have kind of gained sight from all of us. What are your thoughts about the Me Too movement? And I know that as you've worked with sexuality a lot, you've probably also have witnessed a lot of men and women who have been abused sexually, and therefore after that they might be more promiscuous or less, or kind of frozen and not being able to pass through the trauma. Can you say a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I think I think the Me Too movement has actually triggered a lot of healing for people who have been abused, who have been assaulted, who have been harassed, who have been disrespected. And my new book, which isn't out yet, is about sexual healing. It's actually my memoir with a how-to book with lots of really loving, healing exercises for people who are still in pain and have residue and are unable to have a healthy relationship. They're unable to love themselves, they're unable to love anyone else or trust anyone else. So I think the Me Too movement is a powerful movement that's not going to go away anytime soon. And I guess, again, there's problems with he said, she said. There are people who are abusing it. There are people who are totally sincere and authentic. And because the internet is saturated with stories, it's very hard to understand which ones are real, authentic, and which ones to empathize with, and which ones to challenge in a thought-provoking manner. So it's a confusing time, I think, but it's opening up conversation, and I think that's good.
Definitely. Yes. It's bringing up a lot of not only conversation that are healing, but I also think that is bringing people to be responsible and accountable for their behavior and to actually look at the impact. So many people who are perpetrators are they're doing things without necessarily knowing all the full impact. Maybe finally they're receiving and they're seeing the impact of their behavior on others, which hopefully it will teach for them not to, and other people not to, when they look at, I think that a lot of people talk about utilizing others as an object when it comes to sexuality, and especially, obviously, we get that from porn and many other ways of how to utilize sexuality and another person as an object. But if we're using them as an object, we might not see the human side of them, which is being hurt. And the Me Too movement has also brought that conversation that, yes, people do get hurt. And so before hurting them, you do not use them as an object. And I do agree with that. You talked about your new, go ahead, you were going to say something.
It's changing the new generation. We're learning to ask permission before we touch somebody, for example. And I heard a very cute story, very quick, cute story, where a mother was telling her son about Sleeping Beauty, the fairy tale. And when she finished, she said, the prince kissed her, and she woke up. And he said, well, he shouldn't have done that because he didn't ask her permission, Mom. So that's the kind of impact it's having. It's huge, right?
Yes.
It's amusing, but now you're thinking, oh my goodness, the little boy is right. This is how he's being raised, to respect, before touching or approaching. So it's powerful.
Very powerful, yes. And also working, obviously, the percentage of people, child abuse, molestation, even people who have been traumatized by sexuality as an adult, as a teenager and adult, is high. And it really helps to be able to learn about sexuality and their body versus just disconnecting from their body and killing off a wonderful, wonderful area of their life, which could, instead of punishing themselves or have it be a punishment, to be a joyous reunion of them with their body and receiving pleasure where it should be and it's due. Do you also have courses about that, where people who have been abused, molested as a child or as a grown-up, that they can go and learn how to be with their body in a sexual way where it opens them up and it creates healing, and then for them to be able to, receive that?
I'm actually working on the course right now, as I am with my book. The course will be based on my book. Really powerful exercises like having a conversation with your sexual organs, giving them an entity and talking, especially if they're painful. And so there are things like that to help people to heal. And I'm not saying that it's, obviously it's not a replacement for therapy, but it just gives you some ideas and some thought-provoking advice from somebody who's been through it.
Yes.
So it's important for me to reveal how I healed. And I would not be in this industry if I hadn't been abused. So I'm actually thankful that I was. And
yes.
Some people don't understand that. But, most good things come out of adversity.
Yes. And I know I've been abused since from age 3 to 8. And I know that not only therapy supported me, but beside therapy, there were other venues that really, really helped. Books helped, having the ability to be able to talk about it. And I think that starting before the Me Too movement, as I went into conferences and I kept sharing, it had opened up a whole different level, not only for people who were listening and connecting, but for myself. As every time I shared with the public or talked about this, another layer of whether it was, shame or guilt or any of those just vanishes, and then the strength shows up. And so I do think that other venues beside therapy really help the healing, plus going through therapy. Now, what is the best area of your career? I know you've had a full career, which has been teaching, working with clients, being in the media, being in the film, and, presenting yourself as an expert, putting yourself out there constantly, and changing throughout the years, and keep giving people everything that you can. What area of your career could you call it the best of ever?
Well, traveling around the world and lecturing to people from different cultures is priceless. I mean, every place I've been, they all want to be loved, and they all want to be good lovers. So I've been to Africa and Asia, and Europe and Australia, and I just love meeting new people and helping them to experience the best sex of their lives.
And do you see a lot of differences where the need for love or the ways of sexuality from culture to culture?
Definitely. Yes, when I was in India, it was very different than when I was in China or Africa. For example, Chinese women are probably the most independent, successful entrepreneurs ever now, but sexually, they don't have the confidence to seduce their man or to feel sexy and have a juicy frame of mind. So I go to China, I go to Thailand, and I do retreats, and I really help them to learn how to love their body and just exude femininity. And in fact, it's called Feminine Healing, the retreats I do in Asia. And I love working with the women. It gives me such pleasure to help bring out their sex goddess,
It's wonderful. Well, it's been wonderful to have you. I know that you have to leave because you have a client waiting. And where can people find you? I know they can go to loveunity.com to find you. Where else can they get your books and maybe sign up for Loveology University? And if they wanted to take courses in university, how do they go about that?
They can just go to my website, avacadell.com, AVACADELL, and everything is there.
Oh, beautiful. That's an easy access to go, and from there on to capture anything. So if people wanted to be a coach, they have to go, they have a whole different series to learn versus people just taking different courses, right?
Yes, the curriculum is expansive, 300 hours if they want to be a coach. You can just take an individual course on massage or kissing or, anything, dating, communication, foot fetish, anything. It's all good.
I'm taking the course on getting and receiving and giving massage. I think that's the first one I'm going to start with.
I think I'm going to send that to you for Christmas. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. It's been a pleasure to have you with us. And hopefully when you have your new book, you'll come on the show again and we'll let everybody know about your latest book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Take good care. All right, everyone. This was Dr. Ava Cadell, and go to avacadell.com and get everything that you need to get from her, and we'll be right back.
Join the conversation every Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. Pacific for Inner Voice, Heartfelt Chat with Dr. Foojan. Dr. Foojan has a direct approach to getting you to free your mind. Inner Voice is a live call-in show where you can chat about your life and all that matters to you in your relationships. Inner Voice, Heartfelt Chat with Dr. Foojan, Monday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific on Smart Talk, KMET 1490 AM, and on the Internet stream.
Have you ever wished you could just wake up one day, reach across your nightstand, and hit the life reset button? Let's face it, the struggles and frustrations of everyday life leave millions of women and men around the globe yearning for a new way. And the new way is right here in Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want, by Dr. Foojan Zeine. You can get it now at Foojan.com or Amazon.com. Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want. You deserve it.
Dr. Foojan Zeine is a psychotherapist, a marriage and family therapist, and a life coach with more than 27 years of experience. She is the author of the Awareness Integration Model, which has been researched and published in numerous international journals. Dr. Foojan has offices in Beverly Hills, Irvine, and Woodland Hills, California, and also consults online and by telephone. Make an appointment with her today by calling 818-648-2140 or go online to www.foojan.com. That's www.foojan.com.
Well, happy holidays, everyone. You're back when in our voice show. So we talked about sexuality with Dr. Ava Cadell, and we talked about different what people want in their sexuality, and then they're not able to talk about. Now, I think you know already that I generated and created the awareness integration model, which is a therapeutic and an educational model. So there's an area in the book Life Reset, which I really, really would like to have you guys gift it to other people. What a better gift to have on holiday than really looking and becoming aware of yourself. Now, there is a chapter about sex in my book, Life Reset, that we really look at our thoughts. What are my thoughts? You know, we create a lot of belief systems, and it's not just ours. We have belief systems in the society, the culture, the family that we are raised in. And we take on those belief systems, and then we have our own experience throughout the years and add to them. And then we have created this type of a way of being around sexuality, and sexuality meaning our own body and the way we are with our own energies of sexuality, the way that we take care of our body in a sexual way, and then how we are with partners, and what is okay and what is not, and what is it that we have some duality where it's okay for me but it's not okay for my partner, or it's okay for other people but it's not okay for me. So looking at all of those, there are exercises that you can actually go ahead and do, looking at how you think and how you feel and how you behave toward sexuality, and how all of that way of being kind of impacts your life and your partner if you are with someone. And then we also have this image of, what do other people think of me, whether they're my partner or my sexual partner. What do they think of me and how do they feel about me? Is it negative or is it positive? Or how do other people, like my family members, my friends, everybody else thinks of me in the area of sexuality or being sexy or the things that I do? Sexuality is one of those areas of life that people hold secret. It's not just privacy. There's an element of privacy to it, but it's also, they call it personal. And there's also this element of secrecy to it. And so to look at how come, and what area of sexuality would you keep secret, and what areas can you talk about? Which friends do you talk about sex, and how far and how much do you talk about sex to your partner or to other people? Not just in a humorous and kind of like when you're telling jokes, but seriously about you. How much of this do you divulge and talk about? If there has been inappropriate behaviors, whether it's been done to you or you have done it to others, do you share on that? Do you talk about it to other people? Do you give their opinions about it? And if you don't, how come? How come you hold that part of the secrecy, and what's holding you back to do that? So obviously I could come up with a lot of the answers, but I prefer right now to come up with all the questions, so you come up with all the answers for yourself, to really look at what's going on with you, and mostly to be able to give the gift of just pure enjoyment and pleasure for yourself and your partner, because you deserve it. And then if you were a woman over 50 or 60, or a man over 60 or 70, is there a part of sexuality in your body that has shifted? And are there grief about it, or there's sadness or upset about it, or just relief about it? What is the change that has happened in your physiology about sexuality? How has that impacted you? So looking at that perspective also. And if you have a member of the LGBT, how has that impacted your life? Or have you come out? Have you not? What's working with you and what's working for you and not? And then there's this other element in the exercises that, how do you think of yourself? Not only what you think of others, not only how you suppose and assume others think of you. How do you think of yourself when you think about your own Am I great? Am I not? Am I inadequate? Are there areas that you really need to be skilled and you're not, but then you're kind of like shy to go and get the skills. And that's maybe the Love University would really help, or having, partners who can show you or talk about it. And so you can learn the skills together through books or other ways of media that you can actually gain those and then practice it. So basically to have fun and play with this area of your life where if you're a husband and wife and in a relationship for a long time, to be able to kind of create zest into that area of your life and relationship. And if you are single, and what do you do to take care of yourself, and what are the ways that you keep yourself safe in an environment that illnesses are a lot, and then you pay a lot of consequences when that's there. So looking at who you are first, and coming to terms with who you are, and then looking at what's needed. If there are some traumas that have happened from the past, things that happened to you that you don't like, things that are a belief system that are holding you, and if there are ways that you thought about yourself that are negative, in the book Life Reset, there are exercises that also take you through that and create a lot of healing for you, where you can go through your childhood memories and create a healing from where you are today to the child that got hurt and abused. So those are all set up for you in Life Reset, and the awareness integration path to really the life you really want and desire and deserve to have. And as we're getting closer to the holidays, and people are giving gifts, give yourself that gift, give other people the gift of resetting your life and different areas of your life. And that would be great. And after all of that, then it has re-envisioning your future and tomorrow, which I know everyone starts looking at. Who do I want to be in 2019, and all of their New Year resolutions. And this gives you an actual exercise piece in order to get yourself ready to create a most amazing New Year resolution with goals and action plans and systems and feedback loops to be able to definitely get what you want. So Life Reset, just go to Amazon.com and put Foojan Zeine and Life Reset. It'll be there and just for you, waiting for you, or you can go to my website, Foojan.com. It's been a joy talking to you today. It's been a joy talking to Dr. Ava Cadell, and we'll be back next week. So create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you throughout this week. Bye-bye.
The Inner Voice Show is a dialogue between the host and the listeners about their relationships. This show is not an attempt to assess, diagnose, or treat any mental health or illness condition. Please consult your physician, psychiatrist, or psychotherapist for personal matters.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET 1490.